Hey, it's Lucas, and today we're going to be reviewing this Pure Sun Farms Pink Kush. So according to Leafly, Pink Kush is an indica dominant hybrid that's supposed to have body focused effects. It's supposed to have bright green nugs with pink hairs. It's supposed to have notes of vanilla and candy and supposed to be good for treating pain, insomnia and appetite loss. I'm going to start out with the looks, and if you want to see what my nugs look like, then you can... No, that doesn't sound right, does it? I'm going to start out with the looks. If you want to see what these nugs look like, then you can check out the link in the pinned comment. That'll take you to a short. I can't show the nugs in this video because I don't want it to be age restricted, so just check out that link. The nugs I got were all decent size. The trim job was alright. The only problem that I really had was that they were clearly very old. Towards the stem you could see yellowing. There was nothing wrong with them really, but it just, like, you could tell they were old, and I feel like if they were fresher then the taste would have been better, the smell would have been nicer, and it just would have been a more pleasant experience when vaping. I'm actually going to give the looks a 6.5 because, like I said, they weren't terrible. Moving on to the smell, I could smell it before I had actually broken the seal on the bag. It was a really gassy smell, not really to my taste, but not a bad smell. After a month in a glass jar, the nugs still smell gassy, but now there's a sweetness coming out of them. I can't really define it more than that. It's just like generic sort of candy sweetness, but more on the gassy side. After you throw it in the grinder, way more of that sweetness comes out. I would bump it up to a 7 when it's ground down because, just for me, I prefer the sweeter smelling strains, so it's always going to be a winner if it smells sweeter when it's ground down. I don't even think I rated it for the whole nug, so I'm going to say 6.5 for the whole nugs and 7 for when it's ground down. I got this as a nighttime strain because I heard that it's quite powerful and it's quite good at knocking people out and giving them good sleep, so my fingers were really crossed for that. When I medicate for my nighttime strains, I usually start out at 185 and I go up to 210 every time my mighty vibrates, but for the sake of flavour, I'm going to start at 160 today. The flavour at 160 is almost candy sweet and floral. You don't get much vapour, but the flavour is actually quite pleasant. You don't get much vapour at all until you get to around 180, and by that point the flavour is more peppery. It's still got a slight sweetness there, but it's definitely more peppery, and to me it's still quite pleasant if I'm honest. After 180 for me, I find there's no flavour other than just vaped bud, so at that point I just boost up to 210 and finish it off through the water pipe. Effects wise for me, this has been a bit of a letdown. It's just not as heavy hitting as I wanted it to be. The flavour at very low temperature I would give a 7.5. It's actually quite pleasant. When it gets a little bit pepperier, that's where it starts to lose me, and then when it gets to tasting just like vaped bud, that's when I don't care anymore. I wish that it would take me through the entire cycle of flavours, starting with the super sweet, going through the peppery, and then ending with whatever it's supposed to end on, but instead it just gets lost midway through and it's just quite unpleasant by the end of it. For that, I've got to take that 7.5 down to a 6.75 for the flavour. And the effects for me, it just doesn't hit as heavy as I want it to. Like, yeah, it's relaxing, my eyes feel low, and I feel heavy. When I'm sat down, I feel like all my weight is concentrated in my tailbone or my lower back. That might sound uncomfortable, but it's not. It's like a pleasant sort of heavy warmness, but really just overall it just doesn't hit. For me personally, it just doesn't hit. It says that it's 21% THC, but THC percentage doesn't mean anything, because if you've seen my previous review of Kieran's Banana Ice Cake, that's only 18% THC, and that hit me way harder than this did. It's just... It seems like it was going to be good for my condition. I have anxiety, depression and insomnia, so on a nighttime I thought this was going to be good for me, but the body effects are there, but it's like there's almost nothing mentally for me. I don't really know how to describe the feeling that I like, but it's almost like a tingly sort of... You can't think, but it's not unpleasant. It doesn't feel wired and it doesn't feel scattered. It just sort of feels unfocused and happy, and with this I don't really get any of that. It kind of just feels... it just makes me feel heavy, and that's nice, but I need something else on top of that, so it's just not really a hitter for me. At £6 a gram, it's not bad at all. For a radiated flower, it's not bad at all. The looks are okay, apart from it being old. If it was fresher, it probably would have looked better, probably would have smelled better as well, but the smell, I just don't think it's for me anyway. I like the sweeter ones. This is not really as sweet as some of the other ones. This strain kind of puts a block around my head, so it makes it kind of hard to think and form thoughts. I medicated before I made this video, which I don't usually do, which I think you can probably tell as well, but it's just not hitting. I feel like I've got to vape a lot of this, and even then it doesn't hit me the way that I want it to, so this strain for me is just not it. But that doesn't make it a bad strain. A lot of people like this. Like I said, it is one of the cheaper options, £6 a gram, and it's not bad. If it works for you, then this probably would be very good, but for me, It's just not it. So I don't want to speak too negatively about it, but for me, I won't be getting this again. As a whole, I would give Pure Sunfarms Pink Kush a 6 out of 10, purely just because it doesn't work for me. If you like this video, leave a like, leave me a comment telling me if you've tried Pure Sunfarms Pink Kush. Did you like it? Did you not? What should I get on my next script? It's due soon, so do let me know. Subscribe for more videos. Peace.